Hey guys, LevelCap here. It's been a little while since I've done a hardware unboxing video, but I got a new mouse that I'm pretty excited about. I've been using Roccat mice for a while now. I've been using the Roccat Cone Pure for quite a long time, and recently Roccat contacted me. They said, "We know you like our mice. We just came out with this new one, the Roccat Tyon. Would you be interested in checking it out?" So they sent me this mouse over. I tried it out, and I'm actually really liking the mouse. Now, I've been a long time advocate for having a very minimalist mouse. And when I first saw the Tyon, I was a little skeptical because this thing has quite a few buttons on it, but they're all very strategically placed. It has 3 thumb buttons plus an analog paddle, which is a really interesting addition on a mouse. And then there's 4 additional top buttons plus an additional what they're calling dorsal fin switch, which is basically kind of like some mice have the ability to rock back and forth the scroll wheel. This kind of takes over that, and it's pretty easy to access. Now when you see it side by side with the Roccat Cone Pure, you'll see it's a little bit larger. Very similar in form factor though, so if you like the Cone Pure, you're going to be getting a similar shape with this mouse. Probably my favorite addition though is one of the simplest, and that's the lower thumb button here. It's so easy to access that I've been adding a lot more functionality to my mouse versus my keyboard. And that's a good trade-off to make, because if you don't have to remove your hand from the WASD keys, then basically you don't have to sacrifice your movement when you're performing tasks like throwing a grenade, dropping a med bag in Battlefield. And I've just been really enjoying the extra buttons that again are not cluttering the mouse. It might look a little bit complicated, but when you grip the thing, you don't feel like you're overcome by tons of buttons everywhere that you're trying not to press by accident. And that's really been one of the main reasons why I've used such simple mice over the years, is because I didn't like accidentally hitting buttons or sacrificing my grip so that I could have like 3 or 4 more buttons around the mouse. This mouse does not make me sacrifice my grip. I'm never hitting buttons by accident, and that's really a testament to the design, because there are a lot of buttons on this mouse. That being said, I'm certainly not going to use every single button on this mouse for Battlefield, but when it comes to, say, a more complicated game like Star Citizen, I'll probably start mapping more and more functionality onto this mouse. Battlefield's simple enough that I really only need to access a few gadgets, throw grenades, toggle my flashlight on and off. If I can map a lot of that to my mouse, then I will be just fine. Now, I found many other things about the mouse pretty agreeable. The weight of it was very light, although a little bit heavier than my Roccat Cone Pure. It was still very agreeable, especially for the size of the mouse. One thing that I liked a lot was the click pressure. This is how hard you have to press down on the left and right click buttons, and this is really important for especially pistol combat, where you need to, say, maintain your accuracy and you need to fire really quickly. A light click pressure can allow you to fire faster and maintain better accuracy, because if you have something that you have to really press down hard to get that left click off, then it's going to throw off your aim a little bit. You're going to have to focus on the clicking a little bit more and less on the aiming. So I hopped into some pistol servers and was testing it out and was really happy with the results. Now, the mouse itself can actually go up to a very high DPI of 8200. It's actually the highest I've ever had in any mouse I've owned before. I don't really use high DPI. I stick to about 800. There's lots of debate over which one's better for what, and you know what? I use 800. It works well for me, and that's pretty much what I stick to. I don't do a lot of DPI switching, but the mouse is certainly set up for that. A cool thing about Roccat mice or Roccat drivers, and a bunch of mice drivers do this, but it's still a very appreciated feature, the ability to change your lift-off distance. This is basically when you have to drag your mouse across the mouse pad, bring it back. There's a distance that the mouse has to be away from the mouse pad before the sensor stops reading motion, and you can fully customize this. This is something that you used to have to just try and get the right kind of mouse, the one that lined up with your preference. Now you can just customize it to whatever you want in the Roccat drivers. Also, the mouse has its own onboard memory, so if you configure your drivers and the settings on this mouse, you map buttons to whichever keyboard commands you want, and you save that, it'll get saved in the mouse itself, and if you unplug it and bring it to, say, your friend's house and you play over there, it'll still have all the same DPI and functionality built into the memory on the mouse. You don't actually have to reinstall the drivers. Now, I could honestly probably fill up a whole 10-minute video just talking about the Roccat drivers. They're super in-depth. They'll let you pretty much customize anything you want on the mouse. I don't use most of the functionality, but it is there if you want it, and if you have really custom or very specific needs from your mouse, I'm sure the Roccat drivers can facilitate most of what you would want. Grip-wise, I feel like I have excellent control over this mouse. It's got the same grip style as the Roccat Cone Pure, although the body is a little bit bigger. And personally, I would say I probably prefer the Roccat Cone Pure a little bit more grip-wise, but then again, my playstyle involves having a lot of the palm of my hand on the mouse pad, and that's just very specific to my own playstyle. I know a lot of people that like to have most of their hand on the mouse and not the mouse pad itself. There's a lot of different grip styles that will affect your performance, and it's really about what's most comfortable to you. When deciding between using the Tyon over my Roccat Cone Pure, it's a very difficult decision, and frankly I haven't made my mind up yet. I love the extra functionality in the Tyon. The size of the Roccat Cone Pure is a little bit more agreeable with my hand size, but then again, the Tyon is still very comfortable, and as you can see from the gameplay, I'm not having any trouble being accurate with my pistol. Now, for those of you who have been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I've gone through a couple different styles of mice over the years, and it wasn't until I helped write an article for the Wirecutter on some of the top-end gaming mice, and I had to test 14 different really top-end gaming mice, that I really kind of found my style of mouse. And it was nice because I actually got to switch between 14 different gaming mice and test them extensively and figure out what worked best for me, and that's where I came to the Roccat Cone Pure. It was one of my favorite from all the mice that we tested out, and I basically bought 2 of them, and I've been using them on different computers throughout the house, and I've always just felt like it's the perfect mouse, and I've never really suspected that you could add more functionality to a mouse without making it more cumbersome, but now that I've tried the Tyon, I'm really surprised by just how many buttons a mouse can have and still feel really elegant at the same time. Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for this mouse review, my impressions of the Roccat Tyon. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There's a link in the video description to the mouse if you're interested. And as always guys, I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing out.